going on, everybody? I'm John Welsh, and I'm the gentleman.
And I'm Alex Stanford, and I'm the scholar. And this is our good friend. Since he's your friend.
Yeah. This is AJ Francis, the notorious AJ Francis.
I'm not sure about notorious, but I have been called worse.
So if you've known him as long as I have, then you would definitely call him the notorious.
I'm like a good cigar or fine wine. As with age, I get a little bit less notorious.
So you're just a nor.
Or Torious.
Or Torious.
I'm not
Whatever.
sure. Yeah, it is what it is.
Which kind of leads us into what we're doing today, which is kind of redoing the cigar company is actually redoing something, which we'll talk about a little bit further. But I'm telling you, this one today, if you don't go get one of these cigars, there's something wrong with you.
Well, it's a new release, and I'm always excited about trying something new.
I like where the company's going. That's my mindset. Is like they're taking bits and pieces from everything, and I'll tell that story in a minute.
All right, tell the story. We do have a couple of housekeeping things we have to do.
Gotta do it.
If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, click a like, share the video, drop a comment. We've been getting some good interactions with the fans, and we want to keep it going, feed the algorithm, help the show grow. Also, got to thank our official sponsor, Bailey's Cigar Room in Karen Corral Veterans. It's your one-stop shop for all your tobacco-related products except cigarettes. Why?
Because they're disgusting.
Disgusting. That's right. Come see Jamie. Come see Gary. They always have something new. Speaking of new, did you know about the new Bulls that came out? Oh my God. So anybody?
It's like you geek out. We geek out so much on
dude,
it.
It was like Christmas. So everybody knows who's in the cigar world. You know, I know not all of our fans are as into it as we are, but La Flor de Dominicana is a really prominent brand, and they have a cigar that was the 2016 cigar of the year, the Andalusian Bull. It faced a massive shortage through COVID because it was already a limited run cigar, and so nobody carried it. It was all just gone. And I wanted to get one back in January, and Jamie was like, "Dude, we're on back order. They're saying it's a year before they're going to be able to meet the demand because it's just so crazy." Well, that changed this week. I got a call from Gary. The Andalusian Bulls were in, and I was like, just dropped the phone and raced over here. And I was like,
I wish I would have taken that.
Give me a box.
I could have got a box.
Oh, they're already gone.
They're already gone.
They're
already gone.
But John, tell them about that stick.
So, I have a handful of cigars that I can actually say that I would be like, no, I will go get them. One I introduced to him the other day, and I'm hoping it changed his life for the cigar side. But the second one is this bad boy right here. So now, there's nothing wrong with the cigar. It's from the beginning. The dry pull is good. Like, you will have all your flavor notes met. You're definitely gonna want this thing to savor. Like, I kept putting it down, hoping it would go out, so that I knew I could pick it back up and pretend like it was a new one. So yeah, I had to get some, and I'm gonna give one to our guest today.
Fantastic.
So that he can experience the same thing I did. And they are reasonably priced for what you are getting.
Yeah, they're basically the cost of a Liga 9.
Yeah.
And it's the size of, you just picked up, it's about the size of the Churchill. It's a big stick. It's a good 2-hour smoke, and it's not like the God of Fire or one of the big opuses, something stupid like that. So less than $20.
Look how oily it is. Like you're aging some right now.
I'm aging some. Yeah, we're gonna feature one on the show at some point, maybe for the next live show. I don't know.
Yeah.
But speaking of the live show, we are going to be doing another one. We've talked to the fans, and
Chris, we got your message.
We're looking at July, and I'm putting together some guest appearances by some of our friends across the continent, and a nice giveaway. I'm thinking maybe this time a piece of paraphernalia rather than cigars. So maybe a nice cutter or an ashtray or something like that. We're gonna let everybody know what it'll be. The same thing applies. You got to make sure you're a subscriber of the show and watch the show live. Drop a comment, and you are entered into it. And we're gonna find something to give away there. But speaking of sticks, let's bust out what we're smoking today.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Fine, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you. So tell us about this stick, gentleman John.
Okay, so this one, the Kintsugi. Do you know what Kintsugi is? Anybody out there? Okay, nobody knows. Okay, so basically, in Japanese, it's when they take this broken piece of pottery of art and they would mend it back together to make something better in either gold or silver. So they would kind of mend it with gold or silver, making it a better piece.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Kintsugi pole. Yeah. Oh man, those are awesome. I know what you're talking about.
So basically, the Alex and what was the other guy's name? Basically, they started this company, and basically because of where we sit in the industry, with everyone, every time we get a new law that's passed, we're trying to mend it because these aren't cigarettes. This is all about tasting and having an experience. When you are talking about broad tobacco, like I get it. They're trying to fix with this, and this is what they want to do, is they want to mend this company with the rules that are happening and how they constantly are changing and make it into a amazing experience and stop like all the BS. But long story short, this cigar, I've only been hearing good things about it. Like amazing. I don't want to say the flavor notes because I want to see you guys actually pick it up.
Wow. That's quite a story. It's really interesting watching how excited you get about the philosophy of cigar smoking.
Oh my god! Yeah, I'm geeking out on this stuff. Like this is like I love it. Like this is my thing.
Like 6 months ago, he was like.
So I'm kind of him 6 months ago, maybe a year ago in terms of the cigar stuff. But when I hear you guys talk about cigars, I feel very similar, like to wine. I drink a lot of red wine, and it's awesome when you get a nice new red wine or whatever. Taste testing and all that stuff. So I'm likening how you guys feel about it to the way that I guess I feel about wine. Not that I'm a connoisseur of wine, but
All right, go ahead and get your cut. We use a straight cut.
Okay.
I like a straight cut. Go about maybe 1/8 of an inch down and try to clip.
Yeah, okay.
Way too much.
Yeah, way too much.
How about here?
There you go.
Like this?
There you go.
There you go.
Home?
Oh, it's a woody dry pull.
Oh,
Let's go.
Very cedar. Very cedar. Now, it's interesting. So, a lot of guests like to ask me to kind of give up more of a survey into cigars. And so what I want to point out is that when you take a dry pull, those flavors are basically like the trailer for the film, which is smoking the cigar.
Okay.
And so if you pick up, you can pick up raisin notes or grape notes, and that's going to tell you about the fruitiness that you're going to taste as you smoke it. This cigar, it's got a very strong cedar flavor note in the dry pull.
I feel that. I taste that.
And
I don't taste any fruits.
No.
Not that I can.
There is an ever so subtle sweetness on the back end of the dry pull,
Yeah,
which reminds me of like almost like a dried apricot.
yeah. It's like a raisiny, cinnamon.
Okay,
It's hard to say.
Somewhere in there.
all right. So let's light this puppy up.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
He's so excited.
It's tasty. It already tastes well. By the way, we're doing some bullet here too. This is gonna marry so well.
Oh, it starts off nice. Starts off nice. While you guys are doing that, I also need to give a shout out to our affiliate up in Canada, the Not Generally Cigar Smokers magazine, run by my buddy Chris. Put the address in the description. Go check it out. It's a really cool site. I've got my second written review up there. I did the Asian Quattro and the Camacho Criollo. Go check those out. There's also a lot of exclusive content in addition to hot chicks. You know, but who likes hot chicks? They would. So,
Earth guy.
so go.
Who doesn't?
Go check out the website and become a VIP member. And there are some cool promotions coming your way. All right.
So what am I tasting here? So again, I'm a newbie to this. It's definitely not a very hard to pull cigar. I mean, like there's not a lot of bitterness to it.
No, it's
Hey, you know what?
I dig it.
I have to say this because we've been grabbing subscribers left and right. People are, the word is out. But if you can, for me, right now, go ahead and click that like, that subscribe, and that bell notification because that's going to tell you when we have new shows out. Because this summer, we're going to be partying so hard, I don't know how many times we're going to be making these things. We might be making them poolside. So you don't know. And look out for the nubs and especially whenever we're doing our giveaways now. So that's a thing for us. So go ahead and hit a little subscribe
Definitely
button
like
right
this.
there.
Wow.
I get this a lot.
This is a different kind of smoke. I don't even know if I put this in the sun-grown category. It's certainly not Connecticut, and it's not rich enough for Maduro.
No way, it's Connecticut.
But it's got a surprisingly amount of flavor, and it holds up well, but it's not bitter at all.
Yeah. It's got a lot of flavor. It's not bitter.
It's got like this nice roasted leather. Maybe a teensy bit of coffee. And the retrohale.
I'm tasting cinnamon.
A little bit of cinnamon. You getting the cinnamon?
I'm definitely getting leather.
It's mellow, I'll tell you that. It's not bitter.
And then there's some pepper in there. The end. Like right at the end. But other than that, I like it. I just like I like the way that the company is focused on kind of mending us, our little get-alongs.
Well, it is a real shame how the regulations are getting ridiculous.
Yeah, now they're saying any flavored things are banned. Like that's a new bill.
I got a good friend of mine in San Francisco, and he's like, dude, you can't smoke anywhere. You can't smoke in a cigar shop, and you can't smoke. He says you can't even smoke on the rooftop of his apartment building.
Where can you smoke?
In your home.
If you own it.
Yeah, if you own it, you can do it.
But if you rent it, no.
I remember being in LA a long time ago with John, and I was a cigarette smoker, and I guess they had just banned cigarette smoking in bars and in inside places. And I remember they were like, "Oh, you can smoke on the balcony." So I was like, "Cool." So I got a beer and I went to go to the balcony to smoke my cigarette. And the guy was like, "Where are you going with that beer?" And I was like, "I'm going on on the balcony." There was no way off the balcony to the ground. And the guy said, "You can't take the beer out there. You have to go smoke the cigarette, leave your beer inside." I'm like, "Well, they kind of go together for me, you know?" And he was like, "No, you can't." So I was like, "So I can't smoke inside, but I can't drink outside?" He was like, "No." So
see, if you had been a 6-year-old, you'd have straddled the threshold with your cigarette in the patio hand and your drink and then just go.
I mean, who knew? I didn't know.
I swear to God,
it was new to me.
I think that's why Dave Chappelle does what he does. He smokes on stage, smokes wherever he wants to. He's like, "What are you gonna do to me? What?"
Well, I think Dave Chappelle and AJ Francis.
No, I'm just saying. But
different,
have you ever noticed he smokes? He doesn't care where he is. He'll light up anywhere.
I'm sure AJ was like, "If I were Dave Chappelle."
Yeah. No, I tried that. I was like, "Hey, I'm Dave Chappelle. Don't you recognize me?" And they were like, "Nah, man, sorry."
But tell the audience who someone did try to think.
No, I don't want to. No.
No.
I'm
right now. I'm going to post a
appreciate
picture of AJ right here from the band days, and that's who he was mistaken for.
No, so these people come up. This was 20 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 20 years ago,
roughly. And I guess the girl said, "Can I have your autograph?" And I was like, "Of course you can have my autograph."
They're like, "Stone's Throw's way out here now."
Yeah. And then she was like, "You are Perry Farrell, aren't you?" And I was like, "God dang it!" Really, it was like a knife right to the heart. Look, Perry Farrell, highly respect him as a musician, but that is one ugly dude. And I'm sorry if you're
watching the show, buddy.
I mean no disrespect. I mean ugly in the nicest way you can call someone ugly, which I'm sure there's a nice way out there. I don't know.
It didn't help your situation that you were wearing a fedora, not a fedora. What are those things? A boa and like a fluffy.
No, I did have a fedora on actually. Also with the boa and a leather coat.
No, you were wearing that fluffy friggin' coat.
Yeah, you know what? That was a long time
And you were wearing no shirt underneath, so yeah, they were probably like, "Yeah, this rock star
right.
dude."
I think it would behoove us at this point to kind of lay some foundation on our guest.
Yeah.
That way they understand what's going on.
Okay, you're 100% right. So, how I know AJ is
I'm actually Dave Chappelle. Just so you know, where they're going with this is I'm Dave Chappelle.
We were in a little band called Stone's Throw, and he was our drummer. And let me tell you something, he forgot more than I ever knew in this band.
Here we go. Here we go.
And I'm telling you, there's a Dr. Beat out there that knows exactly what I'm talking about.
That's an inside joke. We don't have enough time to go into that.
We don't have enough time to go into that.
No, but real quick, here's the joke is, what do musicians play with? Drummers. What do you call a drummer without a girlfriend? Homeless. So there you go. Those are my two. You didn't want to hit your... That's my... there you go. Perfect.
That's a cash register sound.
Oh, that's not it.
No, so we were in a band
together. Sound guy.
We need a new sound guy.
We need to have the gentleman and the sound guy.
The gentleman and the sound guy. Coming to you live from a neutral stage.
Yeah, so we've been knowing each other for over 20 years at this point.
Yeah, it's been.
So how did y'all both go from where you guys were opening for Nickelback to living in Lafayette together?
Okay, let me give you some premise of.
Wow, that's a story in itself. That could be written in a book. Seriously.
So we were auditioning a guitar player, and he happened to have a buddy from the band that he was in, because we needed a drummer to just play along, and our music was so simple, especially to him. He's so amazing.
Thank you.
Like I'm not even just like trying to pat him on the back because he was in my band or whatever. Even if I didn't have, he is that good. He can sit and play with anybody, like literally anybody.
Well, again, it's the drums. It's not rocket science.
I know, dude. You take it to a whole other level. He can either play hard and loud, or he can get very quiet and complicated. You know, so kind of like a jazzier, like off tone. Anyway, so we're
I'm very complicated.
And he is very complicated. So we're
relationship status complicated. Right? Yeah.
So we are auditioning Maddie. And Mateo's like, hey, listen, you want my guy to learn your tracks. So we were like, yeah. He goes, he literally listens to the song. He's like, okay, give me 5 minutes. And we were like, what? Get the hell out of here. There's no way you do it in 5 minutes. We went go grab something from the store, come back. He had already mastered that song and went on to another song that was a backup song. So we get Maddie, and he's trying so hard to and he had been practicing the music, and he's like, yeah, like, I got it. And we were like, yeah, okay. And then we just went over to AJ, and we're like, so we have this band.
Well, hold on.
You're a drummer.
Hold on, I gotta stop you because Matt is a phenomenal guitar player. His genre and his style was just completely different.
Yes.
Like 100. It was, if you're country and western, he was rap. I mean, it was too different. And he's, in terms of guitar players, from what I know, guitar players have a style. Like that's their style, and that's what they want to do. And his thing was, with the easy music, he was throwing too much of his style into it, and I think it conflicted with the music and the sound of the music and the style of the music. Whereas drummer can come in and just go, oh, that's what you want me to do. It was easier for me. Is what I'm saying.
Maybe because you learned structure quickly, and maybe that's where you are, because you knew the timing was simple. That is simple.
Sure.
Right? That's simple. But then knowing cues and knowing how to read people as you're playing, that's something you have a gift in.
That I would say I agree with that. Yes.
But I'm telling you.
No. I have played with a lot of people, and
that's what makes you so
kind of
solid.
one of the things that they say. They're like, man, you've never played this song. We've never played together. I've got on stage before and getting like sit-in gigs. And I've never met the musicians where we were supposed to practice or something, and then they just showed up and plugged in, and they were like, "You ready to go?" And I'm like, I guess so." And then we play, and then I'm just watching because I'm so stressed out. The anxiety of never playing with somebody, and then just watching their cues, and then picking up immediately. And at the end of the gig, they were like, "Man, that was fantastic. You hit everything. You were able to do everything that we were doing, and we never met before." And I was like, "Yeah, that was awesome. Now pay me." But,
that's just the thing.
Pay that man his money.
Give me his money.
How much for the little girls? How much for the children?
All right, we're well into our first third. Give me some impressions.
I had a retrowave a little bit. Okay.
All right, does AJ know about retrohate?
Just tried it.
He knows about inhaling.
That didn't work. Yeah, that didn't work for me at all. So that is not like you do with a joint.
No, it is not a joint.
Not that I do or condone that at all, but from the youth, from the youth. How do you retrohale? What's the?
All right, so retrohaling is you fill your mouth up with the smoke, and then you want to let about 2/3 of that out, and then you want to basically try to swallow the smoke as you blow it out your nose. So it never goes into your lungs; it just kind of cycles around the epiglottis.
It's like as you're breathing out, like you do your.
I got you.
And then you
Let
go.
me see.
And so,
Can you tell if I'm doing it right?
Yes.
I mean,
we'll see it come out of your nose. Yeah.
You can taste the cigar.
And it'll taste it a lot more vibrantly.
Yeah, you taste it a lot.
In the nasal passage, man. Okay, you can pick up a whole lot more notes. I guess is note. What
you're right.
Notes? Wow. So what did I taste from that? I don't know. I don't think I focused on that so much as just trying to do it.
An earthiness is coming out. You tasting earthy notes?
Yep. I'm getting cedar. I keep tasting cinnamon.
I'm not getting any cinnamon.
I am. A leather. A woody.
Dude, if you're
I feel like all cigars are leathery and woody unless you get like a black and mild or something. You know what I mean? Like
A black and mild.
No, I'm just saying. Like from my perspective, like every cigar I've ever tasted had like this leathery, smoky kind of. No, why do I want to? When I think about it, I think about it as a Western. I don't know, black and white Western.
Because when we break down cigars, you have categories of like earthy cigars, leathery cigars, fruity cigars, spicy cigars, and so we understand what we mean. We wouldn't say all cigars are leathery because that would just kind of make that category trivial.
Sure.
But I think I know what you're referring to, but the flavor, like, it has to mature to a degree where we're like, okay, that's leather, because otherwise it tends to bleed into other notes. So I don't think I would say every cigar tastes leather, because there are definitely some where if you smoke a not so great Connecticut, which is the lightest type of cigar, that's going to have almost a papery quality. Once it intensifies, the leather comes from that paper cardboard flavor note, but it's just not matured enough. And so your darker cigars will generally have more leather notes unless they become too charred, in which case they kind of taste like a burnt graham cracker or charred marshmallow, which is not a bad note, but it's just the needle has gone too far on the spectrum for the leathery characteristics to really come out. Okay, question: how do I, as somebody who is just now in his infancy, if you will, with cigar smoking,
is there like an ABC or an A when you pull on the cigar and you have the smoke in your mouth? Is there something where I should be going, okay, I need to focus on this to be able to determine what note I'm looking at? Because he's saying cinnamon, I don't see it. He said leather, yes, I get that.
The cinnamon's not until it's the aftertaste.
What I can tell you from, again, an infant cigar smoker is that it's easy to smoke. It's not bitter to me at all. I know I've smoked cigars that are bitter.
You seriously want to know why? This is Nicaraguan tobacco.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means it has
more of
that earthy. Explain to him the
Nicaraguan tobacco tends to be heavier, tends to be more robust, and so they're stronger flavored. I think really you were probably smoking shit cigars if you thought they were.
If they came in a little glass,
I'm sure
envelope, and they're not.
Also,
I'll tell you what, that cigar was pretty good, and I don't remember what it tastes like, but it definitely made me want to smoke another cigar.
But once you really train your palate, like, it's crazy how you can pick up on all sorts of things that would be problematic that you didn't ever notice when you first started. I can smoke a cigar, and if it's not properly humidified, I'll taste it. It'll taste different if it's too humidified. It'll taste different if it's under humidified. I can feel them and just know. Like people have these little gizmos where you plug it into your cigar and it'll read the humidity inside and let you know if it's at 66 or 67 because people want to smoke them at the right spot. But it's like it's a qualitative thing. It isn't a quantitative thing. And so I can, if you feel it, it's just not going to feel the same if it's dehydrated or if it's desiccated. And
I would
it's not
imagine
gonna
as you push
taste the
on
same.
it when it's dehydrated, the outside would be the greatest indicator. Other than the stiffness, I'm assuming. I'm making assumptions.
Sometimes it's a really tight roll. Like there's a lot of Cubans that are really
Yeah, but
tight.
those are firm and compressed on the squeeze. A poorly maintained cigar will have a fragility in the squeeze because the leaves themselves are brittle.
Sure.
And so instead of flexing, they're going to crack
Yeah,
a little bit. And so when you squeeze it, you can feel whether or not it's giving or if it's cracking. And that's how I know
You're 100%.
where it is.
John had made a comment to me the other night when we first got together and we're smoking a cigar, and he said, "Look at the wrap on it, the one that he had given me." And of course, again, in my infancy, he's like, "You see the veins? That he was saying that may be an indicator of a good cigar. That it was real veiny and it seemed very moist, not necessarily moist, but properly
oils were still-
humidified."
the oils were so.
That's a good question. All right, so when you look at a wrapper, and we've discussed this on our first episode, go check it out. You know, it's a great intro.
It is a great.
If I'm going over something that you've already gone over, I'm sorry because
No.
that-
you know,
This gets asked of us a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so while I preface that, I am taking my band. It's too cumbersome. It's a beautiful band. I love how they got the thread.
It takes up the majority of the
It
cigar.
looks like a Kintsugi bowl with the print, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It's just too big, you know. But anyway, so looking at the wrapper, so there are things you don't want to see, which are blemishes. So this one has a little blemish right here. So that's something, but that's just aesthetic. That's not going to affect the construction of the smoke. But then you look for veins. Okay, so the bigger the veins are woody. The flavor from the cigar is going to come from the oils. And so if you're smoking veins, you're not smoking oil, so you're not getting good flavor. So that's generally a no-no. You want to see minimal vascularity.
Oh, so minimal. Okay.
Yeah, minimal veins. Now what you do want to see are what are called teeth. These are the very little bumps that you can see over the wrapper. Now this one is, boy, they're not very pronounced at all. But if you put it in the light, you can kind of see them a little bit. These micro little bumps. They almost look like fuzzies.
Okay. I see that.
Those little bumps are filled with the oil. Okay, so you want to see those because more oil means more flavor. Okay, and then the last thing that I really like to look for is a sheen. You want the wrapper to have this ever subtle gloss to it. That's
Sure,
right.
it almost looks reflective, and this one does.
This one has an ever so subtle sheen on it, okay, because the sheen is coming from the oils.
Sure.
So everything that ups oils, you want, because oils is flavor.
Okay.
Anything that like supplants the presence of oils, that's less flavor. Don't want that.
Okay.
So this one, I would say
good to know.
for this type, it could have a little bit more sheen to it. But I mean, it's not a very aged cigar, so it's not gonna. I wouldn't expect it to have that kind of pronounced tooth structure. There's some that you look at, you're like, oh my god, look at the bumps on that bad boy.
Right. I've seen. Okay, so I've noticed that. I don't mean to commandeer anything here, but I have another question specifically because I'm a beginner at this, and if there's any beginners out there, maybe you've been thinking the same thing or wanting to ask questions. We did a punch the other night, as opposed to the
straight cut.
Straight cut.
Well, there's V cuts or straight cuts, just punches.
Then there's like crown cuts and all kind of ridiculous
Yeah,
crap.
they
Okay.
goes.
So my thing is, every time I've done a cut, I get this little stuff that ends up in my mouth.
Yes.
Okay, I get this little stuff that ends up in my mouth.
Well, he was a musician.
Yeah, that's
Name of his sex tape.
That's
That was a B-sides track, right?
let's keep it professional here, folks. No, but seriously, so I'm there's always like a bit of residue, not residue, I don't know what you want to call it. How about tobacco?
Okay.
That kind of ends up in the mouth.
So you want to know why that's there?
That's not a thing that is interesting to me.
Okay, so the reason why that happens is because the way they roll these, they take the leaves and they just wrap them around, but they can't continue to do that on the very tip because it won't sit right. So what
Nothing
they do
but the tip.
is they have a separate kind of cut leaf that goes around the cap,
Yes.
and it's thin and it swirls like that, and then there's a little fat piece that goes over the top. So when you look at an uncut cigar, you can make out the lines, and they'll make like almost like equatorial lines as you go down.
Okay.
In Cuba, they use what's called the triple cap, which is where you'll see 3 parallel lines
Okay.
as the cap goes up, and they'll be almost flawlessly executed. That's how you know it's an authentic Cuban cigar. Puros or cigars outside of Cuba, they typically don't use a triple cap style of wrap. They'll see like one, and then it'll kind of X over itself. Well, when you cut it, you're going to be releasing that last little piece of the cap that was on there, so it'll be really, really thin, and it'll kind of unwind like that.
Okay.
And that's why you see that.
So nothing that, because it's funny.
And if you're a biter like Johnny, just rah, 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 and all over it, they come apart a lot faster.
So, but I guess my my insecurity, or part of my insecurity is, I'm smoking a cigar with these other guys. My cigar's unraveling and it's in my mouth. Oh my God, is that happening to everybody, or is it just me? Like, what's the deal? It's like I don't want to do it wrong.
No, it's very, very common. It's almost impossible to avoid because you don't want to cut too much of the cap off, because then you start unwinding the actual band itself. So, it is with most of us. If it happens, just pull it off.
Gotcha.
And get rid of it.
Okay, I may have other newbie beginner questions, baby infant questions at some point.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, no, it is nice to try to learn something that you're interested in. You know what I mean? And it's funny because we were talking earlier, say that story for now. And I had a cigar, a buddy of mine got a cigar for us. We were in Destin. We forgot to smoke it. We actually got a little too intoxicated and forgot. And I quit smoking cigarettes. Man, it's been a few months now, and I don't have the urge to smoke a cigarette, to be honest. But at the same time, you come home, you might have a long day at work, and I had this cigar, and I was like, I'm going to smoke this cigar. And I found it to be, extremely relaxing,
Yeah.
which I've learned since then. There is quite a bit of nicotine in cigars. As compared to a single cigarette, there's way more in a cigar. Not saying that makes it more addictive or anything like that, but I have been craving a cigar since we smoked the last cigar together.
It's because I'm telling you, it's because I go all week, and then I look forward to the show. Well, that's kind of, I'm not telling the whole truth. Like, there's some times where I'm like, man, I really want a 601, or, I really want one of those Padernos. Like those kind of things, they pop up, and I'm like, yeah, during the week.
Right.
Then I save it for a Friday and Saturday and Sunday thing.
You don't have a daily smoke?
I would love to have a daily smoke. I don't have time. And taking that much time out of my schedule there's no way. There's absolutely no way.
I don't drink during the week until Thursday. We have this
You're right.
meetup.
Yeah.
So I look forward to 12 o'clock.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Thursdays.
I can't wait. I can't wait to go home and just light a stick, and then Lindsay comes home, and we sit on the patio, we smoke a cigar, and just relax, and it's just
Sounds amazing, and it is extremely relaxing.
It's so nice. But as far as that, whether or not it's a nicotine addiction, I don't believe it is.
It is,
because you're not. If you get a buzz from it, but it's not like cigarettes. I've never gone a few days and been like, I'm irritable, I'm cranky, I'm suffering from physical withdrawals. No, it's just like, dude, I miss that experience. Just sitting and smelling the cigars. It's like, during that time, you're a king.
Yeah.
Because during that time, you're enjoying
in your castle.
The best that life has to offer, and it's just, that is your time. And so you can take a pounding
I'm a king,
from the
everybody.
world. That's right.
I am a king.
We was kings, y'all.
Yeah, king. Cheers.
And then we're gonna stop being kings after the show, but right now we're kings.
Right now we're kings. Cheers.
And that's another reason, people give me so much shit because I smoke expensive cigars, and it's like, guys, this is the time where it's like no one has any say on this use of my time but me. So I'm going to use that time in the way that I'm most proud of.
It's your yoga.
And so
it's your meditation.
I want to smoke expensive sticks. I like smoking something that's this is one of the better sticks in the world. It's just amazing.
People who say things like that, you smoke expensive cigars or whatever. there's a lot of jealousy in that, I think. I mean, I'm not even talking just specifically about cigars. It's like anything else. Whatever you're interested in and whatever you're passionate about, you should be able to do that at your leisure, as long as it's not hurting or affecting other people in a negative way, I think. Which some people would say, oh, you're smoking a cigar, oh, the smoke's killing me or whatever. I get that, but yeah, this is a nice, relaxing thing that you can do. You spend however much money you want to spend on your thing. I think that is kind of what, as human beings, America, by the way, America, we should be able to enjoy what we do. We work hard.
Yeah, we do.
You should be able to get whatever you want, and within reason, again. And as long as it's not hurting anyone else, and you're enjoying it, shit, who cares how much you spend on it?
So that reminds me, my buddy Andre and I, we went to this River Ranch restaurant, which is pretty posh, but they have an outdoor seating area. And we were going there for lunch. I get there, no one's sitting in the patio area. And so I go and I grab a table that is like as far from the door as possible. And my buddy shows up and we light some Cuban cigars, but then it starts to fill up. The rush hour hits. And next thing you know, all the tables are full and we're here with these big ass Habanos just smoking them away. The looks we got from people, one table got reset and we were just like, I wanted to be like, if you knew how much these cigars cost, you should want to sit here just to like secondhand smoke this because this is outstanding.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, people again, people just they're like, oh God, you're in my space or whatever. And that was the thing we were talking about cigarette smoke. Oh my God, as a cigarette smoker, I got to the point where I was so in my head about smoking a cigarette, and if anyone could see me smoke a cigarette, the guilt, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating for cigarette smoke at all. It's terrible for you. You should quit. It is nasty. I'm so happy I was able to quit. By the way, I got hypnotized, and I know that sounds ridiculous. And everybody that I told, they were like, "Oh, that's so funny. You're an idiot. Somebody stole your $150." I quit smoking for $150, and it's done. Like I am not thinking as soon as I get done with this, I'm going to go have a cigarette. No, it's done. So I'm extremely, I advocate that, but you have to be susceptible to it, and you have to really want to quit, is what the guy told me. And I'm not looking to not subsidize, what's the word? Like take up this because I'm so...
Oh, substitution?
Yes, substitute, thank you. I'm not looking to substitute my cigarette addiction. You know what I mean? I'm over that. This is something that's different that I enjoy, that I'm starting to enjoy, and I'm glad that I have friends with knowledge, to be able to say, oh well, here, think about it like this, or take it in like this, or cut it like this. Because a lot of people, I'm sure they just start smoking a cigar and they're just like, I don't know. These are great. These Black and Milds are awesome.
Well, I'm pretty sure what really, brought John into the cigar scene, and it really for me too was the fact that this is the activity. And it brings men together. It brings friends together because we have these like, hey, who wants to come over and smoke a stick? And like people will just come over and get together for that purpose.
And they'll bring different sticks, and we're like, well, what is that? What do you have there?
Yeah.
And we all try it. If it's something we haven't tried before, everyone's passing around going, oh, I see what you look like.
Let me ask you this, Adrian. This will really put a fine point on why cigar smoking is such an amazing hobby. Have you ever known of somebody who just mailed someone they've never met a carton of cigarettes?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But people mail people cigars all the time.
So again, I would say that that's like finding a community of people who are as into drinking red wine as I am. Like I know, like there's, you go to you have a sommelier in a very nice restaurant. They come around, they got a little cup or a bowl that they're wearing, and they know everything about the wine. I love going to those higher end restaurants that have sommeliers because I like wine, but I'm not necessarily going to do all the research to determine whether or not at this restaurant we need to go to this restaurant because they have this one wine here and they make this food and it pairs really well and all of that stuff. But I do see big similarities between wine novices or people who are just they're aficionados, whatever you want to call it. That's what kind of is also exciting about the whole cigar thing, because it's a community around it. It appears, and that's cool. Community's cool.
So what you're right. You're on the cusp of seeing it. It's really the reason why you see the similarities with wine is because in both communities you have connoisseurs.
Sure.
And that a connoisseur of wine is going to be very, very similar to a connoisseur of tobacco, because you're all about, hey, I love the best, I want to experience the best, and if you want to experience the best, then we're going to be pals, because we have a massive singular interest. And that's what makes the community so amazing. Through this show, I got to become buddies with this guy in California, and we both played Horse Heresy together, but we didn't know each other all that well. Well, he saw my sharing of my love of cigars with the internet, and he was like, "Okay, that sounds really awesome. Teach me. I want to learn how to." Like right away, he didn't want to be like, "I just want to smoke my $2 sticks. I want my factory smokes." But he was like, "Teach me how to love cigars, how to taste everything." And so we would go through, and I would give him brands, and I would say, "Look, this is what you're looking for. This is how you want to smoke." And then like he was like always. As soon as I would mention it, he'd show a picture. He just bought a bunch of them. And he'd go through and he would give me his review. And I was like, "Dude, you're really getting it." He was like, "Man, this is amazing. What more do you have to show me? What more do you have to show me?" And so I've just been telling him all my secrets. The Nesta Miranda that I picked up. He went and bought those because I told him about it. He was like, "Dude, this is actually amazing." It's like, I knew. So there was one he was smoking.
That's
it was
good to have.
a Viva La Vida Jester. And I was like, "What is that?" And he was like, "Oh, it's pretty good." And I was like, "I've never heard of that." And he said, "Okay." And then not long ago, he was like, "I sent you something." And I got a pack of these Jesters from him.
Well, how were they?
Fucking good.
Yeah.
Like legit. It's when I talked about what to look for in the wrapper, it had this beautiful glossy leather wrapper. I mean, it was gorgeous. And the band was, I'm not gonna lie, it was cool. It wasn't no.
I don't go by bands though, because look, Black Label.
I know, but I'm saying, but I know that was a hang up. And if you're like me, and if I'm like you, and we're looking for cigars, and you see one that you don't know, but the band is unsightly, you're gonna pass it up. Yep. That's just how that goes. Okay, but
that's why I have a problem with Black Label. They just change the band, dude, because your cigars are on point.
So is that marketing? I mean, is that just sales? Because
No,
what you just said was, if it's a good cigar and it doesn't have a good band on it, you probably aren't going to necessarily, unless you know about it.
I agree.
Unless it was referred to you or recommended.
I think that what James Brown is going for with Black Label is he's going for the type of cigar smoker that would be drawn to that aesthetic. And if you think about it, like a lot of cigar smokers are like the massive tattooed guys, and they tend to like that aesthetic anyway, and so they see that on there because it's a well done aesthetic. It's just not what we want on a cigar. We want that more historical.
You don't want to look at something and be like, it looks like it's strychnine on there. You're not going to go after something like that.
Yeah, but I get the marketing. Then that'd be marketing to the tattooed guy. Not that I'm making a stigma on tattooed people who have a certain thing, but absolutely, like people, maybe they're marketing to a certain group of people, which is cool. They might be marketing to them, but I like that. I like that label. And show those again.
Oh, that's a gorgeous label. It's classy, it's beautiful, and it just, to me, it screams really cool. Handmade artisan.
Yeah, elegance.
Because it's a bullfighter. It's somebody who is putting their lives on the line to entertain.
Cool.
And
you might want to show that.
It's awesome.
I'll put a picture.
And it's a gorgeous stick. I love the shape of it.
So, one thing this happened when we had the pool party. So we're sitting there, and thank you, Lindsay. You're an amazing woman. I wish I had a wife like that. So listen. So his wife, Alex's wife, always makes these. Like, she'll cook for everybody, and when we have these parties, she brings food and she brings these platters. And in the platters, she brings.
Call it what it is. It's a charcuterie tray, John.
Yeah, sorry.
Fucking Philistine.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lindsay, again.
Thanks again, Lindsay.
For your what? What was it called?
Charcuterie platter.
Yes.
Just a platter. What he said. That's all.
So listen. So she brings over like a plethora of cheeses and meats and like fruits and everything. So for me, loving cigars as much as I do and knowing all these notes, I start thinking, what would marry together well? So I start thinking about what I would put together. So I did. I took a cucumber and this cool cheese that she had. I don't remember what it was. She's like, oh, taste. I tasted it. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So I took a cucumber, the cheese, and then I put a strawberry on top. And I was like, and I tasted it just to see how different these flavors would go together, which is what we do with cigars. We find these things where it's like, this just goes together so well.
Yeah.
Just like if you're a roller, you know that I'm gonna touch these flavor notes because that is what gives you that essence of what a cigar should be. Leathery, earthy, hay, then you want to sweet with a little pepper. And those are if you hit those notes, you're going to have somewhat of a great cigar.
So that reminds me, I don't want to cut you off, but if you're somebody who's looking to expand their cigar knowledge and want to try brands they haven't heard of, it can be very daunting because there's a bazillion of them out there. Every charlatan is selling cigars with their own band on them. I get flooded with them on the internet all the time, and they're like trying to sell me something. Like, I don't know who you are. I've never heard of your stuff. Leave me alone. And
Sure.
they're like, well, if you want to really have a fast track to good knowledge, look at the blender. Because the blender is the man who comes up with the recipe. I'm going to use these binder leaves. I'm going to use these filler leaves. I'm going to use this wrapper. And there's only infinitely many combinations of different regions and styles of tobacco. And so I look at blenders. If it's made by a blender who is considered a master blender, like world renowned, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
So you got the blenders for Drew Estate, and the blenders for Foundation, and the blenders, and you find the name, and that's how you know. And when you go to a cigar shop, find somebody who knows that stuff, because when they know that stuff, they're going to be able to tell you, like, this is a great one, and this is why you're going to love it. They're not just being like, this is new and I must sell this. No. Find yourself a shop that has a guy like that. That's a real
that goes with, it's synonymous with any industry, anything that you purchase. If you're purchasing a vehicle and you go to a dealership and the salesperson is extremely enthusiastic, right, and knows everything about the vehicle that you're going to purchase, you're more apt to be excited to purchase that vehicle.
Yep.
And you probably will pay a higher price because you're talking to an expert. And that's, I think, man, in this day and age, especially like after COVID and everything, and you can't find anything, and I'm in real estate, and new construction is very expensive, just lumber's expensive, all this stuff. Just in this day and age, people do a lot more research on purchasing things because the internet's there. I mean, you have resources.
If you have the resources to understand it through just doing it on your own and figuring it out instead of having someone just sell you, on a product that they have to push, and you could be like, I did my little bit of research, so I kind of understand a little bit. Now take me a step further.
My dad taught me so many things about how to be a man in terms of how to fix a flat. We always go to the flat tire thing, right? Because everybody, you see it all. But listen, to be honest, I think I could probably do brain surgery right now because there is a video on YouTube that is a tutorial on that takes you through brain surgery, right? I mean, seriously, you can go to YouTube and I'm not advocating again.
The show is not intended to provide medical advice.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying. Thanks for that. Put a disclaimer or something. But really, I mean, you can go and there's so much out there. The resources are there. You can find out about anything, and you can be a self-proclaimed expert or connoisseur on anything that you're interested in a lot shorter time frame than it would normally take you back in the day before all the information hits you in the face. That's kind of what I'm going at is just that you can figure it all out. Now, it's better to have friends that say, this is the good one. Check this out, and it is, by the way. I'm digging it.
All right. Second, third notes, fellas.
Oh yeah, we're at the later end of it.
Yeah.
But I'm still you guys, I can't believe you guys can't taste it. So it's more in the finish, but it's a cinnamon finish. There's leather, there's hay, and it's getting more pronounced to me. And then there's a slight pepper at the end.
I'm sorry, and I'm nervous about even saying anything out loud because I don't want to get like punched in the face or anything. But I find there's a
slight. What we do here.
You're right. I don't know. You never know. The guys with the big arms, it's like in between these
working on that
huge
shit.
guys. No, but is a little vanilla, like a little flowery kind of. No. Okay, there you go.
All right.
I just got punched in the face, folks. I literally just got punched. Not physically, metaphysically.
All right, so I definitely think that I pick up a red pepper finish. Very faint red pepper on the finish. Now, as far as cinnamon, I'm not getting any cinnamon. I'm sorry, John. Not doing it.
I guess I'm a crazy person. I'm having delusions over
It's a
here.
weird
Now the
feeling.
vanilla, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So
it's
you're
kinda
not you're not
it's not
totally
in the
wrong there.
pool, it's
You're more
kinda-
correct than John at this point. I would say.
Hallelujah. That wouldn't be the first time, folks. Let's just put that out there. Don't forget, John said it earlier. I've forgotten more about music than he ever will learn. So no, I'm just kidding. That was a long time ago. That was a little bit of ego back in the day.
That was the best. It pushed me to go hard. It pushed me to learn my instrument at that time.
My 44-year-old self should go back and slap my 22-year-old self.
I will say this about the stick. Now that we're in what I call the business section, where all the flavor notes should be harmonized and everything should be matured, and so you should be tasting the very best cigar.
Why is that? Why is that?
Because you've drawn
It's-
everything into
yeah,
that spot.
there's something about how much buildup has occurred. It's like if you just take a nub, like a nub cigar that's naturally this short and light, it's not going to taste. But this is tasting there. It's basically a function of how long it's been burning and how much is built up. So there's that. But I'm not impressed with the trajectory. It's not. If you look at how good a cigar is in the first third, and then how good it is in the business section, it should be considerably more delicious. It's gone up a little bit, but it's not as symphonic as I would like it to be.
Symphonic. Good word.
I'm just saying.
I feel what you're saying.
Talking to a genius over there, man. He's like,
I love it. I love that. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I mean, I'm with you. Symphonic. No, I again, being an infant here in terms of cigar smoking, I think I get what you're saying. Like, I feel like not much has changed in terms from the beginning to where we are now. Not that I would have known before this that there is a beginning, a middle, and an end. You know, that there should be a difference, but yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting that there's a slight difference. I can tell there's a slight difference. It feels like it's a little bit more potent, if you will.
How you feeling? You feeling the nicotine? You feeling the?
No, I feel relaxed. I mean, I don't necessarily feel like
This is not a strong cigar.
I don't feel like
this
I'm
is
high.
this is a sun grown, right?
No, I don't think it falls under that. I think it's every kind of leaf entirely. I don't think this is a sun grown. It's not dark enough for a sun grown, but it doesn't taste like.
So where does it sit? It's not a Maduro.
No, not all cigars fall on that. That's more of a shade.
That's what I'm saying. Like
This-
this is sun grown shade.
I don't know, man. But do me a favor, guys. I don't let him smoke the bull next. He needs to taste, because to really appreciate, that's a 2016 cigar of the year. It's one of the best cigars in the world. So you want to make sure your palate is ready for that.
Sure.
But when that time comes, I want to be there.
Okay.
And I'll bring one and we'll compare, because it really it's kind of like when you have a movie that's like your favorite movie and you show it to somebody for the first time, you just want to watch their reaction. That's what it's like for cigars like this, you know.
Yeah.
But going back to something we had said earlier about sommeliers and like getting the inside track, I got to tell you guys about my New Orleans trip. So I did this was a spur of the moment thing.
But it's also you got to give some preface to it. You got to say why you're really going there.
Yes, I'm going there. So I got called at the last minute on a Sunday to write a contract for a florist, because they were contracting with somebody to do a wedding in in New Orleans, and it was for very, very powerful people. It was a $500,000 wedding, and it was a contract for $50,000 in flower arrangements. They built what's called a cake house for the king. Ridiculous. So I'm all right. So I turned something out. I did it to them. It gets executed on Monday. They're like, dude, it was awesome. The clients loved it, and they were like, we'd be honored if you guys want to come hang out with us in New Orleans for the wedding.
Oh,
And
that's
we have a place in the quarter, and like come party on us. And so we're like, yes.
That sounds
So
awesome.
we go and we bring our buddies. They're going to be on the live show, and they're into cigars, and so it's kind of like we're like best married friends, because the wives are besties. Me and Bo are tight, and so everything's cool. they go to New Orleans. The girls are gonna help with the flower arrangements, and the guys are just gonna kind of be off on their own. And I was like, dude, let's go on a cigar crawl. And he's just like, yes. And so I go and I pull up, and in the quarter there's like 6 cigar shops, and I'm not talking the cigar factory, which is like, those are the big tourist traps where they just want you to go, come watch a hand rolled cigar. But they're not very good, you know. I wanted to go to like the legit stores. There was like 6 of them within 3/10 of a mile from where we were. So I was like, dude, we're just gonna walk, grab cigars at each place, grab drinks, and just go the whole day checking everything out.
Which is another reason why to come to Louisiana, because you can do that.
It was so awesome. It was so awesome. So we go, and I'm not going to disclose how much I spent, but I did find some really impressive jewels in the rough. But we ended up at this one place called the Crescent City Cigar Factory, or a cigar shop. And it was the one that everybody was saying, you got to go check this place out. So we go there. I meet the owner. It's this really cool guy named Armando. Armando, you're awesome. And I always do this, and I'm like, I'm going to go look through your selection, and if your selection impresses me, then I will, ask you for a dealer's choice or chef's choice. Pick me out something that you're really proud of, that shows that you know what you're doing as an inventory supplier. So the first place I go to, I don't ask him a question, because this humidor was just, it was clearly like, okay, this is not for a connoisseur, this is for someone who just has money to burn in New Orleans. So we end up going to we go to his place, and like this guy right away, I'm like, oh, you're a dude. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I go and I look through there, and he has some really cool stuff. I make a couple selections, and then I'm like, all right, Armando, you're gonna pick me one.
Yeah.
Pick me one. And I told him who I was. I let him know that like I'm not just some yahoo that
do
does
this.
cigars.
This is your thing.
I was like, this is I'm the guy. I have a show, and I give a lot of reviews for people. And so I was like, I want you to pick me something special. And so he's like, I have just a thing for you. So he takes me to this humidor, and he points to this very unassuming cigar. It is, it's like a Churchill length, and it's got this very unassuming band. It's called Buenaventura, and the way it was written, it was just, I didn't even notice it was there. Yeah, very pedestrian. So he's like, that cigar right there, that's the one you want. And I was like, that's how he talked. It was like a Latin.
I like that.
Christopher Walken.
That's the one you want.
It was like
Foo Fighters.
Do you know? Oh my God! That's cigar. Fighters. I hit it on my ass. So anyway, he's like, that cigar right there will blow your mind. I'm like, okay. And it was $9. This guy could have tried to upsell me anything, but he was like, no.
That's the one.
He was like, that's the one you want. So I was like, why do I want that one? He was like, dude, because it is so masterfully blended. I've had guys come in here and swear they thought they were smoking a Padron. And I was like, I was like, well, you had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. So I went and I bought a couple, and I sparked, I lit one right there. And I was like, dude, what the hell is this? It was.
So you went to your go-tos. You're like, I'm getting that because I know that's good. I'm getting those. Those are hard to find, whatever. But it was the one that the guy said, this is the thing.
Oh, dude, I was so stoked to try it, because none of those other ones, those were like, look, if you are trying to build a collection, there are certain rare cigars that you look for. I went to New Orleans and asked every place I went to if they had Andalusian Bull. No one had any. I found an E.P. Carrillo Pledge. I found some Plasencia. I found some special release stuff. Like I found an LFD Oro in a golden tube. I've never seen that before. So I'm gonna pick that up. I got some special Fuente stuff, because like there's always this God of Fire or this Opus that is like stupid expensive.
I was going to ask you about that Opus X. Like, when are we going to do that?
Man, we're aging them, buddy. All in good time. All in good time. So I smoked this Buenaventura. It was called the Praline. I was like, does it taste like Praline? He's like, no. He just calls it that. So I'm like, okay. So it tastes like
He just called it that.
I gotta meet this guy now.
He does sound like Christopher Walken.
So I smoked, and he's got this like Desi Arnaz hair, real slick, like a greaser, with these big black glasses. Dude was cool as shit. Anyway, I was like, dude, I would swear this was a 1926. It was so perfectly composed. It was so amazing. And a 1926 for that size.
Get me one?
I have one still in my box. Dude, I got his number. I was like, can you deliver? Can you mail me a box of these? And he was like, absolutely. And I'm like, all right.
Absolutely.
So I talked to the guy for like 2 hours. It was amazing. And like that's what you look for. Like I already told him, like, dude, I'm coming back here and I'm bringing the other guy I do a show with. maybe he'll get your name. I don't know if you impress him. I was like, we're gonna do a show here, and you're gonna be our guest, and it was like,
we're gonna take it
Forget
further.
about it.
What I was looking for you to say is that we are gonna go national,
yes,
hopefully.
yes.
And I'm not gonna tell you the company that we are talking with, but we might go national.
We might go national, but another thing I want to do is, so I was posting pictures of every place that I went with all the stuff I was finding, and so many guys were like, dude, you went on a cigar crawl, you didn't tell me?
Yeah.
Like, so now I got all
I
these
thought you
guys.
were going there for something completely different.
Now all these guys want to go, so I'm gonna book one. So if you want to tag along, man, we'll get a hotel in the quarter Saturday night, and we'll go and spend the day grabbing sticks and like these bars, so cool, and you can smoke with your drink, and you can people watch because you're in the quarter, and so there's nothing but people walking around, and it's a fantastic time.
Okay, so we are at the end of these things.
It's pretty much towards the end.
This is the end. So I want to start the rating.
Okay.
I already got my mind made up. I know what I want to say.
Okay.
Okay. Rapper is going to catch your attention. The story behind the company, if that doesn't get your attention, Nicaraguan leaves with a Japanese approach to fixing problems. The cigar is there. I'm sorry. I'm gonna. It's flavorful. It's got all the notes I like. I would smoke this again. I would never say no to the cigar. I'm gonna go 89.
I'm gonna say it's a 10. It's a fucking 10.
That's
No,
really
I
bad.
don't, no, I don't.
That would be like. Ugh.
No, okay, so I
It's a no from you, dog.
I clearly don't know anything about anything.
So basically, I rate everything from the wrapper, the way the dry pull is, to everything.
So I can't rate anything because this is the fourth.
Okay, so
cigar I think
70 to 80 is like you're stepping into a cigar.
Yeah.
80 to 90, you got some.
I mean, based on what I've
hands.
had, I would say that this is up there. I can't give an honest rate because again,
If you go 90 and above, that cigar had better blow your damn mind away.
yeah. So I don't know how. At this point, a cigar is going to blow my mind away. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
you
there.
will-
I'm not
you
there
will-
yet.
you'll get there.
And that's
You'll
fine.
get
and that's
there.
fine.
It
That's
took me
fine,
3
but-
months and I was there.
Yeah, so I'm like, but I would smoke this again. I definitely feel the chill. I'm chilled, which is a good, clearly, Alex is probably like, oh God, he just said it chilled him out. Oh, kind of thing. I get that, but it is what it is, and it's not terrible. And did it change my life? Probably not, but at the same time, I would definitely smoke this again. So.
Okay.
So what would you rate it if under the scale from 70 to 80 being an intro, 80 to 90 being it's got some hair?
Again, based on what I've had, I'm gonna go 70 because I don't know any better, and I'm not gonna put it down, but I'm also not gonna put it on a pedestal because I'm not there yet.
That's fair. You're trying to make them on the spot, man.
Yeah, put me on the spot, dude. I'm not
70,
taking my clothes off,
maybe.
but
All right. All right. So, take it from the top. I wasn't a big fan. I'm anal about the wrapper. I want everything the wrapper look right now. I understand that sometimes when you're taking it out of the cellophane, or if you've kept it in your humidor for a while, there may be some damage to the wrapper. I didn't like the big blemish on it because that's a quality control thing. If it's got a visibly torn wrapper, why are you putting it in the circulation? Just toss
It's
it.
not cute. Jesus.
So there was that. I thought the burn was good. My burn line was amazing. It was even the whole time. It didn't get uneven. I had to fix it. I never purged it one time, and I do that if I can tell like it's sputtering. I had to relight it once because I let it sit for too long because we were talking. That's kind of it happens. The wrapper maintained its integrity. It didn't blow. I thought that was all good. But it held the ash well. I liked the voluminous smoke. That was all good. The flavors. For me, what I look for, the complexity did not match her. It didn't grow with my projection of what I was hoping for. It was good. I liked what it was doing. As far as whether I'd smoke it again, I think probably not. Just because for me, I know what I want to taste, and I know what I'm looking for, and Smoking a cigar like this, it's almost like listening to music with some of the equalizers turned down, and so like I'm not going to enjoy it as much.
Great analogy. That hits me hard.
It was
I get that a lot.
It was well put together, you know. So there's not anything like majorly wrong with it. It just didn't reach the level that for me I'm gonna like. So I would put it somewhere in the 84, maybe 85 range.
See, we're not too far off.
No, not that far. It was enjoyable. There wasn't a time like I've had cigars where by then I'm just like, ooh, I'm gonna put this down.
Man, I literally thought, based on everything you just said, especially the equalizers turned down, listening to a good song, I was like, well, he's going to be in like the 55, 60 range.
No. I mean, generally for me, if it's under a 70, it's unsmokable.
Oh, okay. Well, so I'm trying to figure out you guys'
So 70 is it has some good stuff,
Yeah.
but it's got some bad stuff. This didn't really have any bad stuff. It just didn't have as much good stuff. So for me to be an 85 or higher, I have to be like, well, this is great.
Yeah.
You know, 90 plus is like after every pull, I'm being like, dude,
This is amazing.
let me tell you what I'm tasting here. Like, and when you see us smoke something like that Andalusian Bull, the conversation was almost all, "Are you crazy? Are you serious?"
Okay, so so just real quick, in terms of not being able to definitively say I'm tasting this or this is there with that. Is that based on the quality of this cigar, or when you and what I mean by that is when you get up to something like that, the Bull, is that one where you go, oh my god, that you taste these notes and them together make this feeling or taste or whatever?
I would say that in a way, yes, because if you're smoking a cigar that sort of is an industrial cigar, there's not going to be a whole lot of notes that attract your attention. It's going to be like something's burning. That's what you're tasting. Something's on fire, you know. And so it's like, okay, it tastes like, you know, tobacco, and it's burning, but it's not going to be like the first taste is going to be something, and then there's going to be a mid taste and then an aftertaste that are going to be very, very specific and defined. That's an indicia of a superior cigar. And so, you know, we've had on this show we smoked some little cigarillo thingies, and it was. I
wanted to put it down.
It was tobacco. It was just like, okay, but I would never smoke this because it doesn't, to me, take me on that journey of like introduction, you know, middle, and then finale.
Sure.
There's
some we nubbed. I mean, literally nubbed.
The really, really world-class cigars, you know, it's like the first third shows you something, the middle third shows you something else, and the third you're just like, I don't want this to end. You know, it's like,
and that's why you nub it. You're just like, please stop.
All the way down.
Don't burn it.
And then you're you know, I always tell people, you smoke a cigar until it tells you that it's done.
Yeah.
And you'll know that when the flavor starts to turn a little bit, where you're just like, okay, it's not as good as it was a half an inch ago. And so that now you're just basically overburning it. But there are some cigars that are so amazing, they never hit that point.
Yeah.
And that's rare. That's rare. And so like you'll be able to know how good a cigar is by basically like how much damage are you willing to endure to keep the flavor going. And John will tell you, I mean, we burned ourselves I don't know how many times when it's that kind of cigar.
I mean, I know some crackheads. I know exactly what you're talking about.
This isn't one. You know?
Not really. Not really.
It's a well put together cigar. Did you happen to catch the price point on these guys?
No.
I did not.
I think.
You know, I would
over 10.
I would feel good with this stick somewhere.
I'll put it up. I'll find out. I'll put it up.
9-10 range. If it's more than that, I'd be like it's a little high.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Again, I still like the company. I think what they stand for is perfect.
All right then.
That's why I gave it an 89.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I don't know if there's a whole lot left to go with. So, John,
thank you so much for having me.
And with that being said, we didn't even get to some of our cool stories. So we have a lot of them.
We do have a lot of them.
It goes by fast.
I'd like to give myself a plug here. AJ Francis Real Estate, Lafayette, Acadiana, top realtor in town. If you're looking to sell, buy, or invest in real estate, I'm your guy. Or
we'll put his address in the description.
Yeah, that'd be
I'm not only going to do that. I'll put a hyperlink in the description of where you can go. And if you need a house, if you're selling something, I mean, literally, and this is just for me because I do a lot of stuff for him. He moves houses. Like I'm talking about from the time I get done helping him to when he's sitting down at the title company is like a week.
So as I'll pat myself on the back right here. As good of a drummer as John said I am much better realtor.
knowledgeable. He pushes it. He pushes it in every.
I was
way
hoping
you can.
I was hoping he'd pat my back right there, and he did.
But no, bottom line is, as I call myself, John Welsh the gentleman, and that is
Stanford. And I'm the scholar.
he is.
I'm the realtor.
He's the realtor. So with that being said, you guys have a great one, and we can't wait to see you
Keep it smoky.
always.